Welcome to Yarns to Spin, the podcast where every story tells a song. Here you will find an eclectic collection of unusual stories, strange happenings, tall tales, folklore, and intriguing Americana. What is better than hearing a good story? Listening to the song that goes along with it. Yarns to Spin presents the Ozark Howler. Jake Leg Slim kept staring at the moonshine jug. It was his jug, no mistaking that. The common brownstone ware, loop handles, and 3 X's on the side. He ought to know his own jug. Slim wasn't a dumb man, but he was dumbfounded. That jug, sitting there on that stump, shouldn't be there. He knew for sure he didn't leave it there, but who did? The indisputable fact was this: no one leaves a moonshine jug sitting on a stump for no good reason. He looked quickly around for any signs that could offer a clue. Nothing. As always, Devil's Den was dark and still. There was a slight wind rustling the leaves, and he could hear a faint sound of the creek nearby, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Just his jug, sitting on that stump. Some people can read a room. Jake could read these woods, and something wasn't right. He took a few more steps, half expecting someone to jump out and claim the jug. His last clandestine deal, as the revenuers called it, was that city feller, and he was there about a week ago. Could it have been him that left the jug? No. He had followed his usual routine. Give the client directions on where to meet, make the transaction, then lead him out on a winding, different path. He knew the den like the back of his hand, and that city feller didn't. He would have been lost in a minute if he had tried to trace back for some reason. No, it wasn't that fellow. He was long gone, and the whereabouts of his still was safe. He took a few more steps and then noticed the cork still in the jug. Curiosity overcame caution, and he carefully lifted the jug. Empty. Now his mind was racing. Someone drinks a jug of shine in Devil's Den, replaces the cork, and leaves the jug on the stump? No way. No one in their right mind could drink that amount of shine, sleep it off, and then get out of Devil's Den in the dark. Except his heart started to pound, and he shivered with the thought, what if it wasn't someone, but something? He suddenly remembered something that had happened that evening, after that city feller left. That sound. A sound he'd heard most likely coming from close to where he was now. At the time, he didn't give it much thought. Probably those Lumpkin brothers across the way sampling their handiwork, hootin' and hollerin'. It was common to all of the shiners in the den to often fabricate eerie sounds. It was to their advantage to play along with the Howler legend. Everybody knew the stories, and it worked out to frighten the revenuers away, especially if they came looking for their stills at night. He had helped spread the Howler legend many times himself. He was pretty good at making his own blood-curdling howl, and always reminded his clients to watch out for the Howler. The den, of course, had its own sounds. A city slicker, hearing a red wolf or a cougar for the first time at night, wouldn't need much encouragement to never come back. Slim knew all of this, but in the back of his mind, things just didn't add up. He sat down on the stump to get off his bad leg, and that's when he saw it. An animal track in the soft ground. An animal track that he'd never seen before, and he'd seen them all. What the? The track was big, and that meant the animal was big. Likely as big as a bear. But it wasn't a bear track. It wasn't anything he knew. His hand was starting to shake as he slowly picked up the jug to head back. And that's when the howl pierced the silence of the den. He had half expected it. It wasn't those Lumpkin boys, and it wasn't a red wolf. That sound came straight from hell, from a cave nearby in the den. The irony wasn't lost on him. The so-called myth they had all played up had been real all along. As he walked back to his still, he kept looking back, and a thought crept into his mind. Had that jug been placed on that stump for a purpose? Had the beast taken a liking to his shine? He glanced back over his shoulder again. And did the beast want more?
Well, I was headed down to the devil's den to meet a moonshine man named Jake Lake Slim. Sip a little shine and hear the whippoorwills call, try to make it home before nightfall. But I'd heard the stories every now and then about a creature that roamed in that den. But the lure of that liquor was a thorn in my side, and I was never one to run and hide. But I got caught past sundown. That was when I heard an eerie sound. It sent a shiver right down my spine. Something was a-watching through the pines. I started running as fast as I could, running to get out of those woods. I knew what it was, a hound from hell. That Ozark Howler was hot on my tail. Well, its eyes like fire pierced the night, and its ghastly face was a dreadful sight. But it was that howl that I won't forget, straight out of hell from a bottomless pit. So I dropped my jug, threw it on the ground, hoping like the Dickens it might slow it down. I felt its hot breath in the chilled night air. I just kept on running till I was out of there. And I was running as fast as I could, running to get out of those woods. I knew what it was, a hound from hell. That Ozark Howler was hot on my tail. That's my story, and I'm telling you every word I said, every word is true. God help with my life, but I think it's a sin. I lost a good jug of shine in the devil's den. I started running as fast as I could, running to get out of those woods. I knew what it was, a hound from hell. That Ozark Howler was hot on my tail. Fierce the night, its ghastly face was a dreadful sight. Was that howl I won't forget, straight down the hill from a bottomless pit. I started running, fierce the night, its running face was a dreadful sight. Running, I won't forget, straight down the hill from a bottomless
The story in the song you just heard is certainly full of Ozarkian folklore, but there is some fact to the legend. If there ever was a place where a mythical beast would dwell, it would surely have to be Devil's Den. Located in the Arkansas Ozarks, the den traces stories back to the 1800s. Stories are told of eerie sounds and sightings of a large creature with shaggy hair, glowing red eyes and horns, and as the song depicted, its blood-curdling howl. Nobody would forget that. Devil's Den offers rugged Ozarkian beauty, along with its haunted tales. It is located in what is called Lee Creek Valley. It was made a state park in the 1930s, and it features winding trails, unique and mysterious rock formations, caverns, and numerous caves, one of which is called Moonshine Cave. These caves were said to be hideouts for outlaws and, of course, the moonshiners during Prohibition days. During the Ozark winters, steam would rise from these caves and crevices, leading to the myth that it was the devil's own breath rising up from hell. There is also Devil's Lake, with its mysterious legends of giant logs coming up from its depths. The rugged beauty and the dramatic vistas of the region drew the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps. Trails, cabins, and carved stone stairways were built during the Great Depression. The existence of the Howler could, of course, be mythical, but there is no doubt the moonshiners used the story to their advantage. It was indeed a clever way to keep the ever-suspicious revenuers out of the region. Over time, many of the superstitious locals believe the Howler legend to be true. The official story from wildlife experts will say there is no confirmation of the Howler's existence, and that it was quite probable a misidentified sighting of a red wolf. Red wolves once inhabited the area, and their howls at night were indeed spooky. Nevertheless, the folklore continued, and it has been said that Daniel Boone, the famous frontiersman, once encountered the beast. The Ozark Howler will, in all likelihood, continue to hold its place in the mysterious tall tales of the Ozarks. Along with haunting ghost stories and spooky lights, the Howler's howl will continue to be something you don't want to hear in the darkness of an Ozark's night.
A hound from hell, that Ozark Howler was hot on my tail. Like fire, fierce in the night, its ghastly face was a dreadful sight. Was that howl I won't forget, straight down the hill from a bottomless pit. I started running.